Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Joystick Gamer, and today I'm going to talk about the impact of the NES after its launch in 1985. This is also a part 2 to the video I made back in 2018, discussing how the NES came to be. Before we continue, we're going to need to catch up from my last video. Nintendo of America wanted to bring the family computer, or Famicom for short, to America, as the system was made in Japan. But because of the video game crash of the early 80s in America, they weren't able to bring the console to America. But in 1984, Nintendo worked on a new system, and in January 1985, revealed it as the Nintendo Advanced Video System. And it was disguised as a computer, so it would sell in American computer stores. But they decided to go back and redesign the system to look more like a toy, to appeal to kids in toy stores. And to make it seem more like a toy, they made the cartridges like VHS tapes, and packed in a Nintendo Zapper for Duck Hunt, and Rob the Robot for Dynamite and Stack Up. They test launched the Nintendo Entertainment System in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and San Francisco. The system eventually launched to the rest of North America in late 1985, as well as the rest of the world in 1986. After the launch of the NES in 1985, video games came back to America with a bang, selling over 61 million units worldwide, and introduced kids and parents to Mario, Zelda, Tetris, and other characters alike, as well as bringing Nintendo to where they are today. But in 1989, Sega was competing with Nintendo with the Sega Genesis and its 16-bit graphics compared to the 8-bit graphics on the NES. Until in 1991, Nintendo released their own 16-bit console, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. In 1993, Lance Barr, the designer of the NES and the Super Nintendo, looked at the NES's design and later on quoted, "The boxy look was out, and I thought it was time for a more sleek and inviting look." And later that year, he made a new design, and Nintendo of America released the NES 101, or the NES Top Loader, as well as the Japanese version, the AV Famicom. The design was slimmer, smaller, and looked similar to the Super Nintendo. In 2004, Nintendo released the classic NES series for the Game Boy Advance, which was ports of a few NES games to take on the go. In 2016, Nintendo released the NES Classic Mini, which is a mini recreation of the console, with 30 games built in. But it sold out fast, and the controller cable was short, so Nintendo re-released the NES Classic in 2018. Also in 2018, as part of the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, Nintendo released a platform for Nintendo Entertainment System games with more titles coming in the future, as well as the Super Nintendo equivalent. And in 2020, Nintendo partnered up with LEGO to not only bring Super Mario to the LEGO world, but also reveal a LEGO NES kit, targeted to older fans of the system. The NES introduced many people to video games, brought video games out of the 1983 crash, and impacted the gaming market. 35 years on, Nintendo has become a big part of the gaming history, and will forever be known as the company that saved the gaming industry.